Hello and thanks for joining us on Project GTi at MicksGarage.com. Today we're going to be fitting the Evolution Motorsports induction kit. Now there's loads of different induction kits available on the market for the Mark V GTi. We went with this one, the Evolution Motorsports kit, because it came highly recommended to us by the guys at Black Church Motors. They'd seen real definite results using this kit on the dyno. The quality of the kit is really excellent, and the fit and finish is superb. Every section is manufactured beautifully, comes with all the clips and fittings and nuts and bolts and pieces that you need to fit the kit to the car. On the turbocharger intake pipe in particular, the welds are absolutely beautiful. It also has a really nice black anodized finish. So the reason for fitting a well-designed induction kit like the Evolution Motorsports one is that it's going to produce more power, and the reason it produces more power is because it allows more air to flow into the engine. It allows more air to flow in because it's less restrictive. The pipes are slightly wider, more air can flow in through the larger surface area of the filter, and also it uses the original cold air intake from the car, so that also helps to improve power. Colder air is denser, produces more brake horsepower. To do the job, it's pretty simple. You don't need a whole lot of tools. You need some long nose pliers, a flathead screwdriver, a T20 Torx driver, a couple of extensions, a ratchet, a 6mm and a 10mm socket, and a small Allen key. So the first job is to remove the engine cover, and to do that we need to remove the T20 Torx screws that hold on the cold air intake. Next we need to undo the electrical connection for the airflow meter and undo the clips, the clips that hold the turbo intake pipe onto the engine cover. Then just gently prise off this hose and you should be able to remove the cover. So the next step is probably the trickiest part of the whole job. We need to remove the intake pipe that comes off the turbo. There's a large hose clamp holding it on that you'll need some long nose pliers in order to release it, and it's quite tricky to get at. We find these pliers with the curved end gave us the best access. Right. Now there's our clamp. It was sitting around here. It's nearly impossible to show you when it's on the car. When you pull this off, you might find that this rubber insert is still sitting onto the turbo as well, so you need to remove that as well. The next step is to fit the cold air box. It fits into the section here just in front of the battery box and above the gearbox. It's really nicely finished again, lovely injection molded piece of plastic, and comes with some nice rubber finishing strips as well. To fit it in, we just need to remove this section of the cold air intake here, and it comes out in two pieces. And what we want to do is line up this hole with this mounting point here. Might just take a little bit of fiddling around to get it into place. There we go. And this just bolts into place with the M8 bolt that's provided. Next we've got to mount the intake pipe onto the top of the turbo. So what you need to do is think about the position of the hose clamps so that you can get access to them to tighten them up. So we found the best way is to position them at the back of the elbow and get access from this side. It's a little bit awkward as you've got to lean right across the engine. Next we can mount the main induction pipe. Just rotate that into the position. It wants to sit kind of in the cutout of the cold air box here, and just make sure that it's sitting nicely around the back of the headlight and by the battery box as well. I'll just leave that loose for a second until we get the next hose clamp in there as well. So next, take one of the large hose clamps, open it up, and we need to thread it through the two holes here and around the intake pipe. Get it so that the nut head is facing upwards, because you'll need to get access to it to tighten it up, obviously. little bit tricky. Oops. Okay, I'm just tighten that loosely, and we'll make sure everything's lined up here. Once you have everything lined up nicely up here, you can tighten this second hose clamp. I always find that using a socket and a 6mm socket rather than a screwdriver is much easier. So the screwdrivers always tend to fall off. Just need to be careful not to over tighten them. Okay. Now just tighten this one up fully. Again, you don't need to over tighten it. So refit the cold air inlet ducting to the inlet above the radiator. Replace the cover. And it just clips back into place. So you're reusing the original cold air intake to the car. The air's directed nicely into the cold air box, and the cold air swirls around nicely inside here, and it's shielded as best as it can be from the heat of the engine by the box here. Now what we need to do is remove our old airflow meter from the old engine cover and bolt it into the new system. So again, it's the T20 Torx bit. You don't need to reuse the old screws. New ones come with the kit. And just be very careful taking this out, because it is a fragile piece of equipment. Finally reconnect the plug. Now, one thing that we should mention last of all, this port here isn't used in our car. It is used on some models, particularly in the States, I believe, where the kit is manufactured. It's some kind of emissions control system that runs to the front of the engine here, so we just blanked it off with a plug. That didn't come in the kit, so you just be aware of that. You might need to source something to block that hole. It's about 30mm, if I remember rightly. So that's it, job done, the kit's fitted. Now there are other accessories you can buy. There are heat shields, and I think there's an engine cover that you can buy that's pre-modified, or you can modify your own engine cover so that it fits back in place and maintains that kind of original look. We're just going to run it without it. There's no need for that now, so we're just saving a bit of extra weight as well. So what you're going to notice with the induction kit fitted is a change in the way that the car sounds on the road. There's going to be a whole lot more induction noise in general, which is a good thing. Fantastic. Everything seems to be working fine. All we have to do now is bring the car for a proper test drive on the road, make sure everything's working fine, and hopefully we'll be able to feel that extra performance. After that, we'll be back down to Blackchurch Motors to get the car on the dyno there. We'll get the thing remapped so that hopefully we can get the maximum benefit from our new induction kit. Thanks for watching.